The moment the meal tray landed on my fold-down table, something felt wrong. I wasn't picky. As a single father raising my 6-year-old daughter, Emma, alone, I had learned to be grateful for whatever life offered. We were flying home after visiting my late wife's parents, and I had spent months saving enough money for these economy-class tickets. Emma was asleep against my shoulder, hugging the stuffed rabbit her mother had given her before cancer took her away. I quietly peeled back the plastic covering on my chicken pasta meal. A sour smell drifted into the air. At first, I thought it was just airplane food. Then I picked up the small yogurt cup. The expiration date printed across the lid stopped me cold. Expired. 3 weeks ago. I checked the fruit cup. Expired too. Even the salad dressing packet had passed its date. My stomach tightened. Normally, I would have ignored it. Creating scenes wasn't my style. But my daughter would wake up hungry any minute, and there was no chance I was letting her eat food that should never have been served. I raised my hand politely. A smiling flight attendant approached. "Can I help you, sir?" I kept my voice low. "I think there has been a mistake. Several items in this meal expired weeks ago." She looked at the yogurt, and her friendly smile instantly disappeared. Her eyes widened. "May I see that?" She picked up every item one by one. The color drained from her face. "I'm so sorry." She whispered the apology almost to herself. "This shouldn't be possible." She excused herself, carrying the tray toward the galley. I assumed she'd simply replace the meal. Instead, 5 minutes later, I noticed something unusual. 3 crew members were gathered around the tray. The lead flight attendant examined every package. Then the purser arrived. Soon afterward, the captain himself stepped out of the cockpit. Passengers nearby began watching. The captain looked directly at my tray before asking quietly, "Who was served this meal?" I raised my hand. His expression turned serious. "Sir, thank you for bringing this to our attention." He apologized personally and promised to investigate immediately. I expected that to be the end of it. Instead, the entire atmosphere on the aircraft changed. Meal service stopped. The crew disappeared into the galley. Several unopened meal carts were rolled away. Whispers spread throughout the cabin. Emma finally woke up. "Daddy. I'm hungry." My heart sank. A young flight attendant knelt beside her. "I'm so sorry, sweetheart." She handed Emma fresh fruit, crackers, juice, and cookies that had been taken from emergency stock kept separately for children and medical situations. Emma smiled. "Thank you." The attendant smiled back, but I noticed her hands trembling. Something much bigger was happening. About 20 minutes later, the purser returned carrying a clipboard. "Sir, could I ask you a few questions?" I nodded. He carefully documented everything. The seat number. The meal number. The exact time I opened it. Whether I'd eaten anything. Whether my daughter had consumed any of it. His questions sounded less like customer service and more like an official investigation. Finally, unable to contain my curiosity, I asked, "Is this really that serious?" He looked around before answering. "Yes." Then he lowered his voice. "Very serious." He explained that airline catering followed strict international safety procedures. Every meal was tracked by production batch, preparation time, storage temperature, and expiration date. Multiple checkpoints existed specifically to prevent expired food from ever reaching passengers. For this meal to reach your tray. He paused. Several safety systems appear to have failed. I felt a chill. So this wasn't just an accident? We don't know yet. He thanked me again before walking away. The rest of the flight passed quietly. About an hour before landing, the captain made an announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, due to a catering quality issue identified during today's service, we have suspended meal distribution as a precaution. We apologize for the inconvenience and appreciate your patience. Passengers sighed with disappointment. Only I understood how serious those carefully chosen words really were. After landing, I expected to collect our luggage and head home. Instead, 2 airline representatives were waiting at the gate. One introduced herself as Melissa from customer care. The other carried official identification from the airline's safety compliance department. They politely asked if I could spare 15 minutes. Emma colored quietly while I answered more questions. Then something unexpected happened. Melissa received a phone call. She listened silently. Her face slowly changed. She thanked the caller and hung up. Looking at me, she said softly, "Sir, the employee responsible for loading today's catering has just been suspended pending investigation." I blinked. Already? Yes. Apparently, security footage from the catering facility had already been reviewed while we were still in the air. Initial evidence suggested someone had knowingly ignored multiple warning labels during loading. The airline wasn't taking any chances. Melissa apologized again. She handed me travel vouchers and promised the company president would personally contact me within 24 hours. I assured her compensation wasn't why I'd spoken up. I only wanted safe food for my daughter. She smiled sadly. "And because you did, we may have prevented hundreds of passengers from becoming sick."